Another hot and humid day on this Wednesday here in central and eastern Kentucky. And when you look at the summer as a whole, we have largely avoided any kind of big heat for any extended period of time. But it does look like the hottest temperatures of the summer on the way by Friday, when we have a heat advisory out for here in the Bluegrass. Heat indices could be between 100 and 105. Storms over the weekend, then slightly cooler into early next week as we wrap up July. We've had hazy sunshine the bulk of the day. A few little spotty showers trying to weaken out a bit. The main action up around an area of low pressure and a warm front, northern part of the Ohio Valley, southern Great Lakes, and this stuff back across parts of Indiana and Illinois. As it diminishes, we got some rain-cooled air rushing out, and of course the air is very warm and muggy, so that may help to fuel a few isolated storms later this evening during the overnight and the early part of Thursday. Looks good, but it's hot down in Richmond. Our Bluegrass Pace Care Skyview HD camera network checking out EKU. We're 91. Winds have been up a bit out of the southwest at about 10 to 15, upper 80s and low 90s for air temperatures. Dew points, great measure of the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. Anything 70 or above, that's when you really start to feel oppressive. And when you factor that in, up and down the I-75 corridor, we've got heat indices in the mid to upper 90s. And I think we'll do that all again tomorrow, potentially even higher. It's all due to this low as it swings by, just how long we hang on to any of those isolated storms. Notice here on our futurecast, as we get a little deeper in the evening and even overnight, cluster tries to clip the I-64 corridor and hangs around even into tomorrow morning. Now, the longer some of the scattered clouds hang around, if we see those storms develop, that may have an impact on just how we recover temperature-wise in the afternoon, and we may end up more so in the low 90s. We stay very humid all the way through Saturday, and then we take a much-needed dip as some drier air works in, but getting there will be a little rough. Heat advisory Friday, the Bluegrass out to the west. It does include tomorrow. That's 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. Friday looks to be our hottest day with that big bubble of high pressure over the Commonwealth, much of the eastern U.S. 95, it'll feel more like between 100 and 105. And then as we get into Saturday, still looking at low 90s, but I think a few isolated cells pop up on Saturday, and that could, of course, have an impact on just how high the heat index goes. Tomorrow, upper 90s to around 100, and I think on Friday with our hottest day, we'll see 100 plus across the board. May reach the heat advisory criteria even into eastern Kentucky. And again, we'll see what happens on Saturday. But nevertheless, with that being a weekend day, really the next few days, you know the outdoor heat safety tips. Definitely stay hydrated, lightweight, light-colored clothing, and of course you will want to get as much AC and be inside as much as you can to stay cool. We do have a little bit of a pattern change. That hot air gets pushed to the south as the jet stream dips southward along with that frontal boundary toward the end of the weekend. Warm, muggy, few storms, 73 overnight, 91 tomorrow. Breezy and hot, isolated storms may outdo that a little bit, overachieve potentially, depending on the isolated storm coverage. And you see Friday, our hottest day at 95. That front moves through, and Monday, the final day of July, looks pretty pleasant. Lower humidity and highs in the mid-80s. We do heat things back up again as we kick off August toward the middle part of next week.